from the News Channel 5 Network. This is SCORE on Business.
Hey, welcome to SCORE on Business. I'm Pete Hendricks. I'm your host today and a serial entrepreneur. SCORE is an organization that's all about helping entrepreneurs and small businesses succeed. There are low-cost classes for things like writing a business plan. There are counselors there that will really help you get some things done. There's just a lot of great things that SCORE has to offer. Check out our website, scorenashville.org. So let's go ahead and get on with the show here. So our first guest is Jason Gries, who is the founder and CEO of Foomanchew. Jason Gries is a successful serial entrepreneur. His current business, Foomanchew, is changing how America enjoys fresh, tasty, and piping hot Asian food delivered to your door, picked up, or catered. So you've been in the entrepreneur game for a while, and you've grown two businesses. One of them was really capital-intensive service business, and then Foomanchew is a tech company. So what do entrepreneurs in a capital-intensive business need to know?
Yeah, Pete, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. First thing, I left GE when I was 29, and I started up a company that we had in Atlanta. It was a supply chain company. And that was the capital-intensive business that you're referring to. And that business, we grew over the course of about 10 years to about a $100 million company with operations in China and about 150 employees. And there were definitely some good lessons learned along that journey.
Oh, sure.
The first one, from a tactical perspective, is inventory, which is an asset on your balance sheet. Didn't always feel like an asset in my books.
Oh no, that inventory carrying cost will eat you up.
You know, as an entrepreneur, many times inventory felt like a risk or a liability to me. So, you know, we had probably $3 to $4 million of inventory in our warehouse at any point in time. Requires a bank to finance it. It requires storage and processing cost. So many times that inventory, which you want to view as an asset, could be a challenge for you to manage, especially in an economy at that point in time, which was turning on the downturn, and you got to manage your way through that. Secondly, these businesses, these service businesses, they're difficult to scale. They require a lot of employees. So you've got a lot of different challenges that come along with that. Not only the cost, I think our payroll cost probably is an $8+ million range for 150 employees. You got to hire people, you got to train them, you got to retain them, you got to put the right programs and processes in place to keep them on board. So there's a lot of logistics and management challenges of all those employees. And with that being said, the third and final item is these businesses take a long time to scale and build up, but with all that hard work and energy that you put into those businesses, if you decide to sell your company, the valuation and the exit multiples on those businesses are much, much lower than a technology-oriented company.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So touching bases back to a particular part of the capital intensive, if it's capital intensive, the money has to come from somewhere. And so talk a little about the implication of that. Like if there are venture capital investments, you don't just get the money and run the business the way you want, or the bank or whatever. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Several sources of capital. One is you can bootstrap the business, which we did a lot of that. You just got to get customers. They got to be willing to pay, and you got to get customers that understand the vision of what you're trying to do and buy into that with you. And we had the luxury of having some of those types of customers. Or venture capital, you can go out and sell equity in the business for venture capitalists to come in, or private equity partners, or a bank if you have enough assets for the bank to lend against.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. So, what do technology entrepreneurs need to know?
Yeah, well, this business, Foomanchew, I've had the opportunity and luxury to kind of experience both types of businesses, and we're super excited about this business. You know, the thing. It's a little bit, I come from a GE industrial background, but for technology venture, the thing I figured out is you don't have to necessarily invent a new technology or be a developer, software developer, to get in and build a successful technology business. It really comes down to, in our books, applying technology to an industry that you can change or disrupt, basically changing the customer experience or changing the economics of the industry. And that's going on in the market today with companies like Uber in the transportation industry, or Warby Parker for eyeglasses, or changing the game on how you get your eyeglasses. And we've decided to do the same thing. And I come from a process background, as we mentioned, from the GE days where I worked on jet engines. Now we're applying it to all industries, including Chinese food, which is what the Foomanchew venture is.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. What was your vision when you started Foomanchew?
I had a partner in Atlanta who was a board member of the supply chain company that we had, and after we exited that business, I was kind of determining what to do next, and this partner, Price Harding, who's a successful businessman in Atlanta, he had this idea years ago about the difficulties of ordering Chinese food he and his wife had experienced, and he mentioned it to me one day, which was probably back in the late 2011 timeframe, and I was doing a little bit of consulting, and I was traveling a lot, and I tried it out. I experienced it. I could get back to my hotel after a long day at the office and order pizza for delivery to my hotel from a trusted brand like Pizza Hut or Domino's, right over their web or mobile apps. It's not so easy to do that for Chinese food. I quickly figured out the challenges. It's like, who delivers, what's the name of the restaurant that I need to order from, where do I find their menu, do they have an app that I can find? Generally no. So there's a lot of complexities and difficulties around it, and after he brought this idea up to me, I was pretty much sold on what the opportunity was to really transform a large, fragmented, underserved market for Chinese food. So we launched it in early 2012 to kind of change the game.
And so you were thinking at that time that the business would be primarily for like business travelers and people who were traveling on vacation?
We originally started with the idea of a consumer brand, like delivery, takeout, for like you get a pizza, you'd have the same opportunity to have an experience around Chinese food. And we came up with Foomanchew brand, and our vision is very much similar to a 1-800-Flowers, where we have our standard menu pricing and promotion structure. And what's key from a differentiation for our business model, there are 60,000 independent Asian restaurants throughout the U.S. They are everywhere, Chinese restaurants, Japanese, and you name it, many more. What we do is we carefully select and qualify only the best quality restaurants to be part of our brand. So we check their health inspection scores, consumer ratings, and many more items, and we carefully bring those restaurants into our brand. And we provide the marketing, customer service, technology, front end, and then they're basically our contract kitchens that we work with.
And so can folks either hit your website, which is Foomanchew, the website's Foomanchew.com.
Right.
They can hit the website and
or a mobile app.
Okay, so you have an app as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you started thinking it was okay, we're okay. So you started thinking that it was going to be for travelers and basically for consumers. So how did you evaluate, react, and grow from knowledge learned as you gained your experience? And pardon me, while you're answering that, I'm going to get the little box that fell down
absolutely.
here. Yeah.
So we are doing customer orders today, but we also figured out that there was an even much larger opportunity. The consumer market for Chinese food is about $20 billion in the U.S. Well, as we got out and started speaking with customers, some of them are business-oriented consumers, and they started asking about catering services. And we launched a catering business. We realized that the catering market in the U.S. is actually about $45+ billion. It's a huge market. And the catering service for us is a great entry point into markets. Our customers are large corporations, universities, and so forth, and they're looking for a refreshing alternative.
Because if you think about it, the corporate fare, if you will, is usually going to be
Sandwiches, barbecue, pizza, those types
Yeah.
of things. And they would never think of calling the local Chinese restaurant to get service, but we provide a value add where we really manage that with our partners, and we work very closely with those business catering clients, and we give them exceptional service.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I know I would love to, to be having a little Asian there
Yeah.
in the mix, and so and again, ladies and gentlemen, it is Foomanchew.com.
Correct.
Okay, we've got maybe 30 seconds left. Tell us something interesting.
Well, with Foomanchew, we're excited about the vision. 2015 for us is the year to really ramp up new markets. So we tested this out over the last year in Nashville, Atlanta.
Right.
We just opened up Houston and Dallas, and we're working on San
Awesome.
Francisco and Los Angeles. So 2015 is going to be an exciting year for us to ramp up our opportunity.
Well, an old process guy like you will know just how to get that rolled out,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. That's what we're focused on.
Okay. Thanks so much
Pete,
for
thank
being
you.
here.
Appreciate it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. ScoreNashville.org.